Let's talk about a weird problem that so many businesses are facing right now. They are absolutely drowning in data, just swimming in it, but they're completely starved for actual insights about their customers. So today, we're going to break down how you can get from that state of total data chaos to having crystal clear customer clarity. And look, this isn't just some abstract, high-level business problem. No, this is a full-blown crisis, a data chaos crisis, and it has very, very real consequences. It all starts when your data is just scattered all over the place. I want you to consider the story of a leader named Rachel Martinez. Her experience is basically a nightmare scenario. She's watching her customer retention just go into a total free fall. And the really cruel irony, she was swimming in data. I'm talking 47 different data sources. And yet she had absolutely zero clarity on why her best customers were just walking out the door. It's the classic case of being data rich, but totally insight poor. Okay, so let's zoom out from Rachel's personal nightmare. This is not an isolated problem. We're talking about companies wasting nearly $1 billion every single year on loyalty programs that just don't work, all because they can't connect the dots in their own data. The stakes here are just incredibly high. So you might be asking, where does all this expensive confusion come from? Well, it's rooted in what we call data silos. A customer's story is completely fragmented. Their purchase history is in one place, their website clicks are in another, and their support tickets are in a totally separate system. When it's all separated like this, the data just creates noise, and that noise ultimately ends up damaging the very customer relationships you're trying so hard to build. And this brings us to a really key realization. The failure of so many loyalty programs, it isn't just about bad tech. It's about a fundamental misunderstanding of psychology. See, they're often built to reward simple transactions, not to actually foster a real human connection. Genuine loyalty, the real stuff, it taps into three fundamental human needs. First, there's recognition. That's our deep need to be seen as an individual, not just a number. Then comes progress, that powerful motivation we feel when we're moving towards a meaningful goal. And finally, there's community, our desire to connect with brands and, other people who share our values. So here's where it all clicks into place. When your data is fragmented, you send out those generic emails that completely fail the recognition test. You offer irrelevant rewards that just ignore progress. And you create these inconsistent experiences that just destroy any chance of building a community. But when you integrate that data, you can completely flip the script. You can create personalized engagement, meaningful progress, and a real sense of connection. So the big question is, how do we get there? Right? How do we move from that fragmented chaos to an integrated, psychologically aware approach? Well, the answer is a clear strategic process, and it's called the Clarity Framework. Just think of the Clarity Framework as your roadmap. It has one single purpose: to take all those scattered pieces of customer data and systematically transform them into the kind of actionable insights that build real, lasting loyalty. So here it is, the whole shebang. Clarity. It's an acronym for a 7-step process. You start with the foundational work: consolidate, locate, analyze. Then you move into taking action, recognize, and integrate. And finally, you focus on growth, track, and yield. Now, I know that might seem like a lot, but it's way more manageable when we group it into 3 simple phases. So yeah, we can break that whole 7-step framework down into 3 simple, totally actionable phases. This is really what makes the entire process doable. Phase 1 is all about building a solid foundation. You just can't build loyalty on shaky ground, right? So the very first step is to unify all your data so you can truly understand your customer. This first phase covers the first 3 letters, CLA. First, you consolidate all those siloed data sources into one place. Once it's all together, you locate the key indicators, the little signals that actually predict loyalty. And once you have those signals, you can analyze the data to find real behavioral patterns. This is how you turn all that noise into actual knowledge. Okay, so once you have that solid understanding, you're ready to move to phase 2. This is where you turn all those insights into action and start delivering a fundamentally better experience for your customer. This phase is all about the R and the I. First, you recognize distinct customer segments based on how they actually behave, not just old-school demographics. This is what allows for true personalization. Second, you integrate their experience across every single touchpoint, your website, your mobile app, in-store, to make sure it's all completely seamless and consistent. All right, the final phase. This is what turns this whole thing from a one-time project into a living, breathing strategy. It's all about continuous improvement and actually proving the value of all your hard work. So this phase is basically a continuous loop. You track your performance to measure the real business impact. Are you improving retention? Are you increasing lifetime value? Then you use that data for yield optimization, where you're constantly testing and refining your program to make it even more effective over time. When you follow this framework, you get a powerful advantage. You're not just guessing anymore. You're moving from a position of data chaos to one of true customer clarity. And the results, well, they really do speak for themselves. And these results are just undeniable. We're talking about research from Harvard Business Review that shows companies with integrated data achieve some staggering results. A 45% improvement in retention, a 67% higher customer lifetime value, and get this, loyalty programs that are 89% more effective. This is the real tangible payoff for achieving clarity. And so, this all brings us to the final critical question. The tools are here, the frameworks exist, the data is already sitting in your systems. The only thing left to decide is whether you'll be the one to finally transform that chaos into clarity, or if you'll let your competitors build the strong, loyal relationships that should have been yours all along.